we are told, trying to trust God. God's writing everything. He's in control. We know that when we ask, it shall come. Why would we question what's arrived? We've asked, it's been given. God is always right. Never ever question it until it's categorically proven wrong, and then you question it. Until then, most of the time, if not all the time, it's never wrong. Because if it is wrong, then God is not God, because God's always in control and he always does the right thing, especially to those who are good people who do the right thing.
I have only had the opposite experience of doing something and then feeling this is not right, something is not right here, but doing it anyway because of fear and doubt and guilt. Like, I don't want to look bad. I don't want this person to get upset with me when they're actually ripping me off. So it was like, nah, I've had enough chewing the leather here. I know what I want. And the big shift for me was not being bashful, not being afraid of what anybody thought about what I wanted for my life.
Yeah, so I find that, putting out lots of feelers, like putting out lots of seeds and having no expectations of, I want that seed to become fruit, right? You just have to put out loads of ideas, loads of seeds, loads of women you want to attract, and just have no expectations of they're going to be Chinese, they're going to be black, they're going to be Indian, that avocado is going to grow, that blackberry is going to grow, the apple is going to grow. You don't have any control over that. When the temperature and the conditions are right for each seed, they will grow. So therefore, don't focus on one seed and hope it's that. You're only going to be disappointed. So putting out feelers, trusting the universe will line up what's actually right, having no expectation of when it will happen.
I look at it as the universe going, now you have the skill that you need, that I need you to have for you to go and do this. And it always feels like, oh, I was supposed to do this because now this is my purpose. When you go and do that and find out, actually, no, I had to do this to level up to be able to do this so that I could level that up so that I could go be able to do this so I could level that up to really discover what my purpose was. So like life is that kind of journey. I look at life now very much like a video game.
So as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that in life, it's very important to have a purpose. And even if it's something that isn't really going to be something that you're going to do forever, having something to get up for and something to look forward to, something to have a shower for is very important. Because back in the day, we'd wake up in the cave, we'd hunt for berries, and then it's like, now what? Now what? We look at animals in the field and they just sleep and they eat a bit of grass and then they sleep. Humans have evolved because we're stimulated all the time. So we need stimulation. Otherwise, we'll simply go crazy or start to de-evolve. So having something that gives you a purpose and something that you can get into when there is nothing else to do is extremely important. And without that, I think as humans, we will go crazy. And doing these things will often involve meeting other human beings. And that goes back to having community and people around us. Even though we're not speaking to them, just having people around us is so important. And it doesn't matter what the purpose is. You just need a purpose.
Yeah, 100%. I can confirm based on recent experience. And I don't know if I love you or hate you for opening up with that. We'll figure out how it goes. But yeah, I have absolutely been experiencing that on the spectrum of not having purpose for about the past year. So a little over at the time of this particular podcast, about 14 months ago, my father died, and it crippled me. And I was just lost in misery and despair and this grief and sadness that was so overwhelming. I wasn't present in my own life, and it damaged most of my relationships, all of my status. And I just didn't care. It was so overwhelming. I drank a lot, I ate a lot, I slept a lot. It was a very dark time. And literally right now, as before we started this, you're like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And I thought, great. And then you open up with that, and I thought, damn you. But it's probably great. And it's probably good for anybody listening. Because I'm hoping that maybe by sharing a little bit of what I went through, and to kind of come back to your point, and maybe you can even help me, to give people something relatable, to share with them, like, you're not alone. It's not that bad. Things will get better. You will overcome. But I am literally in that space that you described of finding purpose. Whereas at one point in time in my life, actually multiple points in time in my life, as you said, maybe not the thing you do forever, but there were multiple times in my life that I felt I had purpose and I was working towards a goal. Now I sort of have that. It's not as specific as most people would think. But as my life literally has had the reset button hit, I find myself in this strange place of like, well, what do I do next? Like, what is the thing that I want to do? And I find myself questioning very much, what's the point? So it's difficult for me to attach to something right now, because even if it sounds good, I think, what's the point?
Yeah, so I often think and ask myself daily, what's the purpose in life? I'd be quite happy to die because I've got everything. I'm whole, I'm complete, which is essentially the end goal of life, finding that wholeness, completion, removing all your karma. It's like, well, if I was to go tomorrow, I would have done everything I wanted to do up until this point. Why not? And it's like, no, because there's only one human life. So you've got to make the most of it. So it's like, okay, I'm aware of this mindset. Now what? Well, the same thing as yesterday. Find a purpose. What are you going to do? Right? Most people, they go to work every day. So almost like 80% of their mind and their brain and their thoughts are based on somebody else's passion and purpose, their job. So they come home and now they can put themselves first. Often they're too tired and exhausted to do anything. So they sit in the chair and they watch TV and they eat. And that's a shitty life. So it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do if I work for myself and I've got so much time on the world, which is myself? So I often ask myself, I've gone to the spa, done my ice bath, done my sauna, I've done my walk, I've eaten my meal. It's still fucking 11 o'clock. What the fuck do I do for the rest of the 9-hour day? Again, it comes back to find a purpose. Okay, so I do the gardening, I cut the grass, that takes 10 minutes. I plant some more flowers. I go on another walk, might have a wank, like, well, what do I do now? Okay, well, I'm still bored and it's 1 o'clock. So it's like, what the fuck do I do? I've got my whole life ahead of me. And I've even bought a calendar that basically says how many weeks you got left on the planet, right? To kind of get me into gear of, fuck, I still need to travel and I still need to do this. And so my answer is, I put on hold traveling to make millions first, because I knew that if I started to travel and I had been given the keys to a Lamborghini and it was going to be taken away because I had to go back to work and save money for my next travels, I'd rather not have it. So I knew that if I'm going to have this life, I've got to have it forever. So I spent the last 10 years of my life building a business to the point where I can be free forever. I'm almost slowly at that point where I'm financially free, where I can click my fingers and go anywhere in the world. What's my purpose? Thinking where to go next. What can I do where I am? So I want to record myself like a YouTube channel. I want to have so much money I can go to Ukraine, help people build houses, go to Africa, help people build mud huts, go to LA, put all the homeless in a Holiday Inn for a month, go to the shop and find a struggling mum, pay for her shit. That's my purpose. Thinking, where can I go? Who can I help? That's my purpose forever. So right now when I'm thinking, what's my purpose? To get to that point. And it's hard because I'm still like, It's 11 o'clock. I've just gone to the spa. I've gone on my walk. And what the fuck do I do? Grass is cut, seeds are planted. Like, what the fuck? And the answer is, your purpose is to become aware of the bigger purpose, which is you are in a fortunate position to have a life where you've got all the time in the world. You don't need to work. When anyone you've ever known is slaving their ass off right now. And if your biggest problem is waking up trying to find a purpose, then fuck me. You have taken for granted the life that the Lord has provided. Because most people just want their fag break. Just want their fucking fag break. And you have done essentially all the shit that people don't even have time to do in a month. In one day, in one morning. And you're worrying about a purpose. Problem. But on a serious note, having a purpose is life or death. My granddad was an alcoholic and he lost his job. He was always used to drink, but he lost his job. He drank more. The more he drank, the more he just stayed at home in his chair. And then he became retired. So there was no work because he's retired. And then his wife died, and he had no purpose at all because she was like the purpose. So from not having a purpose from a job 10 years ago led to the death 10 years later. So as crazy as it is, you need a purpose, even if it is just getting a litter picker and picking up litter in your area every morning. You need that if that's the only purpose you've got, because that leads on to other shit. It leads to speaking to people. It leads to somebody seeing you and going, hey, let's let a pick next week in this area. Or we're going to go feed some donkeys, actually. Do you want to come feed the donkeys? And before you know it, one seed has become two, has become three, has become four. But if you're not litter picking and you don't even have a purpose, even if it's going around the house and dusting everything just to get you moving and thinking, and oh, actually, I could put a photo frame on that wall because there's a space. Then you go to the shop, you get the photo frame, and then you see, oh, there's a couch there. And then you call your friend to help you pick up the couch, and then you go out for lunch. Before you know it, you've got a purpose for a week.
Yeah. I mean, you literally described my, like short-term purpose with intention, that I want to say just experienced, but it's not finalized, but it's a really cool story, involving essentially awareness. So I mean, I'm a big energy guy, and I'm all about follow the energy and just go with it. Whatever that thing is, whatever your gut feeling is, or some people might say whatever that God feeling is, like that you just do without thinking. And almost every single time, it doesn't make sense with your logic brain. So I've gone through a series of really bad events, within the past couple of weeks. One of which was, I was home it was a Friday evening, and I received a phone call from my mother telling me that essentially one of her dogs was literally just murdered. And it was a really vicious, like, I've had to listen to the description 3 times. It's something out of a horror film. Like, it's really, it wasn't there, but I can't get the mental image out of my head, and it hurts my soul having heard this. It was that bad. So by the time I got off the phone with her, it was about 8 p.m. I said, hey, she gets up really early. I was like, what time do you normally get up? And she gave me this, well, it used to be 5, now it's kind of 5:30, 5:45, whatever. And I said, well, I should be there at about 4:30. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah, I can't. I mean, I had learned, like, her husband was in California. My mother lives in Massachusetts. I'm currently in Virginia. And it's about an 8-hour drive for me to get there. So there, you can't be alone. Like when my father died, I ended up alone because of my behavior, and going through that alone is one of the worst things a person can have to go through. So I was like, this is just the thing to do. I'm just going to put the dog in the car, pack up a bag, off I go. And so I went to help mom. And when I got back, I spent about a week there. When I came back, I was really determined, like, I have to get back into the gym. I had only gone twice. I got way off track personally over the past year, and I've been committed. I go every other day. No matter what, I go every other day. Unless something really bad happens, and maybe every other day, but I get right back into that every other day pattern. So I come back, and it's on my mind, and I'm committed. I'm like, you got to get back. It's your first day back. You got to go. I get dressed. Now, before I left, I broke my lawnmower, and I bent blades, and I had to go get new ones. So up until this point in time, I had been putting out into the universe, I have to get my life back in order. I've destroyed virtually everything, and it's time to reset. I've got to get back to Florida. I have a home there. I have a home here. And I was like, I need to find somebody. I need the right person. I just kept putting out in the universe. I want to find a person I can trust, who's a good steward, who's going to take care of the home, who's going to manage the property, and most importantly, take care of my dad's dog, because I can't do this anymore. It's time for me to go find purpose. Like you mentioned, like, it's time for me to reestablish what is my life. So I kept putting it out there, and the few people that I talked with, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do that? No, I haven't done any of those things other than just place my order and focus on what I want, which is really the big key to everything. Focus on what you want to have happen. So I get back, I get dressed, I'm going to go to the gym, and I think, all right, I'm going to swing, gym and Lowe's, the hardware store, different directions. So I said, I'm going to go to the hardware store first, because if I work out first, I'm not going to go to the hardware store. I'm going to be exhausted. I'm going to come home, and So I go there, and they have every blade known to mankind for every single mower except mine. So I think to myself, all right, fuck it. I'm halfway to Fredericksburg, where the next Lowe's is. It's only about 10, 12 minutes away. So I was like, I'll just go there. So I get there, walk in the door. There it is, like a beacon of light. Ah, the first thing I see, my blade. Cool. So I grab a 3-pack and I walk out. And still on my mind, I got to go to the gym. I got to go to the gym. I got to go to the gym. And I just got this feeling. And you know what? You haven't done anything for yourself in months. You haven't been out, had a good meal, treated yourself, none of that stuff. Right next door was a restaurant. And I'm like, fuck it. You know what? I just felt that. I said, fuck it. I'm going to take myself out. Well, long story boring. I'm sitting there at the bar, having a great meal, bought one for dinner so I wouldn't have to cook later, had myself a drink. Guy came in and sat next to me. That guy is currently living in my house with me, has been for the past 2 weeks. And we're about to sign a lease agreement. And he's going to stay here, manage the property, take care of the lawn, take care of my dad's dog so I can go to Florida and get on with my life and find my purpose.
Other than those stories are just what I live for. Literally, those are the most, like, if that doesn't like get someone out of bed, like doesn't give them that fuck, like those tingles. If he doesn't give you tingles and you hear a story like that to get you out of bed, or even to create enough energy from the tingles to get out of bed, I don't know what does, because that's like the most profound. You can't get better stories than that. That is life. That's what life has always been. Like the humans migrate to go from America to fucking England, and they don't know how they're going to get there. They follow their gut, and then they suddenly see a massive boat. And it's like, well, fuck me, there's a boat. Like, how do we know the boat was there? It's like, well, it doesn't matter because the boat is there. Like, you wanted to get across the water, like universe, like, well, we'll find you a boat. And so there's a boat there. Like, those stories are so profound. And in life, we try and plan things. We had on the diary, I was going to go gym at 10. So I go gym at 10, and it's, I can't be asked to go to the supermarket to get a blade because I'm too tired, because it said gym at 10. When you give yourself the ability to just flow the energy, set the intention, gym, lawnmower, I need a management for my house. Trust the universe will put it in order and try and cover the most distance in the less amount of time. So, for example, if the guy is going to be in that restaurant at 2 and you wanted to go to the gym at 2, the universe is going to be like, no, you've got to go to the shop first, because then you'll think, oh, there's a McDonald's there. Then you'll go McDonald's, and then he's going to come in at 2, and then you go to the gym, because now you're fired. Now you're like, yes, it's fucking pump some iron, baby. Yeah, because now you've like had this download from God, like, here's your gift, sir. You're like, yes, I'm gonna build my muscles. Whereas the opposite would be, you go to the gym, oh, too tired. Lawnmower still hasn't been fixed. Fuck, the grass is too long. Fuck, I haven't eaten out in a while. Fuck, I need somebody to manage my property. And fuck, I haven't done this, because you had a script. When you flow and trust the universe will put everything in order, it is magical. And everyone I speak to has a story like this, which is ultimately different. It's all the same story. It's just, I just flowed. This happened instead of that, and that happened instead of this. And then boom, what I wanted was right there. And it's so magic. It's amazing.
Yep. And that's effectively, that's how I've just accepted, like, how my life is going to line up is enabling me now to detach from the things that have just fallen apart in my life and look at the freedom that it provided me. Like, it cleared the space, right? So now I'm working with a blank slate. What can I do? And I'm right now, in fact, before this podcast, I was literally researching living in Puerto Rico, which seemingly came out of the blue, was not on my radar whatsoever. But as I was focusing on, these are the things that I want, that happened to be the answer to one of the questions of, how do I X, right? So how do I achieve this? Right now, much like you, I've been sacrificing much to try to build. So I am on my way, like, I'm working towards my millions. And I got this past year, even though it was a miserable time for me, it bought me time to allow, I trade. So it bought me time to allow my account to compound to the point where now it's a really interesting, fun time. Like, you can't complain about it, but you want to, because you want it to grow. It's like, if I don't touch it, it's going to start to grow exponentially. In the state that it's at right now, I never have to touch the balance, but every single month, whatever it makes is income. And I can not just survive, but I can now start moving forward. So it's a great position to be in. And I'm looking at, okay, I need, tax advantages, and how do I avoid, paying this, paying that? Like I need this to grow as fast as possible. And one of the messages that was delivered to me seemingly out of nowhere was gains like this, market trading gains, you do, as a US citizen, you don't have to pay tax on if you live in Puerto Rico. And I was like, huh, how about that? So I primarily live in Florida, not because I love Florida, because I love warm weather. So suddenly I went, well, hey, Puerto Rico's a US territory. Why not? Let's start doing our homework. And who knows? Maybe I end up there, and maybe that's how things boom, but maybe they don't. And that's kind of it's a scary and cool place to be. Like being open to something, but not attached to, oh, I have to do that. I have to make that happen. No, I'm going to do my due diligence. And if it's meant to be, it'll just unfold in front of me. I'll find a beautiful place on the water and be able to just relax.
Yeah, so I find that, putting out lots of feelers, like putting out lots of seeds and having no expectations of, I want that seed to become fruit, right? You just have to put out loads of ideas, loads of seeds, loads of women you want to attract, and just have no expectations of they're going to be Chinese, they're going to be black, they're going to be Indian, that avocado is going to grow, that blackberry is going to grow, the apple is going to grow. You don't have any control over that. When the temperature and the conditions are right for each seed, they will grow. So therefore, don't focus on one seed and hope it's that. You're only going to be disappointed. So putting out loads of feelers is what you need to do. And then trusting the universe will take the seed that's supposed to hatch, take the country it's supposed to go to, take the woman that is in more alignment with you. You may like Chinese people and think Chinese, but actually in terms of energy, they might be completely off. So if you were so focused on only looking at Chinese women, you're missing out on all the other women who energetically might be a match. So putting out feelers, trusting the universe will line up what is actually right, having no expectation of when it will happen. Now, I spent 4 years trying to find a new business idea. And that seems crazy. But when you're present, you're thinking it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. And then fuck me, 4 years passes by. And then boom, it suddenly happens. So it's like, if you told me that I would have my business in 4 years ago, I'd be like, you're out of your mind. I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. And you're telling me I'm 31 and I'm still not, and I'm almost there. Horrendous. But when you're present and you just focus on today's purpose and then realize you've got to sleep to start tomorrow's purpose again, you realize that it's all just compounding into one gap. Like if you're not sleeping, the sun's pissed off around the earth, but now still now. Yep. Now is still now. If the sun was up, it would just be daytime all the time. And it won't be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It'll just be light forever. So it's like purpose forever. So it's like, well, if I need a purpose forever, what is it? And because there's just light all the time, there's no tomorrow. So there's no, oh, my purpose is just for today. It's not for next year. I just need a purpose today. No, I need a purpose now. And then when that purpose gets bored, then you naturally will find another purpose. Or if you enjoy that purpose so much, that might be the purpose forever until you die. But you don't know that because you're just present. So just finding a purpose now and embracing it and like owning it and just living it now. Tomorrow doesn't really matter because tomorrow essentially is just another day to day where you're trying to find a purpose. So just finding a purpose now and just embracing it. Like if you hadn't gone out with the idea of going to the gym, you wouldn't have gone to, say, the store first, and then you wouldn't have gone to the restaurant, and then you're in the restaurant finding him, and then he's like, hey, let's go out to the bar tonight. And then you go out to the bar, and they're like, hey, let's go golf tomorrow. So all of a sudden, you went from not wanting to go to the gym to playing golf with some strangers. And then before you know it, you're going to a barbecue on the Sunday from the golf people. But that didn't come unless you had a purpose for that day, which is get in the shower, get your gym bag, and get to the gym. I know you don't want to go to the gym, but it's not about the gym. It's not about muscles. It's about what's going to happen from being at the gym. Who am I going to meet? What conversations am I going to have? Who's going to inspire me for something? Am I going to see something? You just need that purpose to get up for. Even if you think about, oh, hey, today's my purpose is cutting the grass. And you get up, you shower, have your breakfast, and then it starts to piss it down and you don't cut the grass. It doesn't matter. You got out of bed. You had a purpose. So it's crucial for life. Animals' purpose is to eat and shag. Humans, we've evolved now. So now we need something else other than just shagging and eating.
There's good times for that too, though.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly as you say. And I can tell you, like, in my life, and I think this is one of the key components for everybody. Not to say that they all have to go through the same level of training that I did, but I went through some extensive speaker training. And through my experience, and now like doing podcasts like this, speaking from stage, speaking, on YouTube, or like just through the lens, or in a Zoom meeting with hundreds of people in them, that skill has really enabled me or empowered me to speak to anyone, anywhere, about anything.
Yes.
Which is exactly how this solution, this potential solution, I'm waiting for signatures and money to change hands, right? That's we're at the end. But that skill, like that ability for me to just simply overhear an exchange between a guy sitting at the bar and the lady bartender, and starting the dialogue, making the comment, and having the icebreaker, or the ability to create an icebreaker, right? And then suddenly we just start exchanging information, ideas, and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually here it comes to this. I mean, it's a much longer story, but that's a big time killer. The point was, like, I went from, you heard it, right? That whole particular story. And much of my life, since I discovered, I'll keep it really basic and say, since I discovered energy about 6 years ago, from that point, my life has made radical changes and huge leaps forward in very short periods of time. And I get to a place, and it's like I sit and I learn and I sort of marinate there for a while, and I kind of level up until I get to that point where, all right, now you have, like, I look at it as a universe going, now you have the skill that you need, that I need you to have for you to go and do this. And it always feels like, oh, like you mentioned purpose, right? Oh, I was supposed to do this because now this is my purpose. When you go and do that and find out, actually, no, I had to do this to level up to be able to do this, so that I could level that up, so that I could go be able to do this, so I could level that up to really discover what my purpose was. So, like, life is that kind of journey. I look at life now very much like a video game. I'm just leveling up. I'm adding skills. I'm getting more powerful. I'm getting stronger, and whatever it is. But that's how I see life. And we go through sometimes, there's a level or a boss or a mini boss or something that you just can't beat. It takes forever. It's just kicking your ass. And I just had that. I just had a severe ass beating for about 14 months. And now I'm coming out, and I'm starting to obviously reconnect with that energy again, reconnect with my awareness again, to be able to go, okay, I just feel this. Don't get me wrong. My monkey mind, the shitty committee in my head, will fight me. And I have had, like, the dialogue has gone on. When I met this guy, it was like, wait, you're going to let some stranger in your house? You don't know this guy. You're going to rent it to him for like half of what you could be renting your house, or less. Like, you're trusting some total stranger. What the fuck is wrong with you? Right. But it was just like, but I feel like I know I'm a good judge of character. Like, a good judge of people in general. Not to say that I'm perfect, but I trust myself is the point. And I trust the energy. So it's like, it takes a lot to shut that shitty committee down and keep going. And then when you keep going, and that's really kind of the magic, like, it's work. You've got to put the level of energy in required, but the end result, always found, is really amazing. And even not the way I expected it to go, but it's always a positive one, and it always makes me happy.
And that's the thing, right? We are told, trying to trust God. God's writing everything. He's in control. You've asked for this person. Why would he bring someone who's going to mug you, right? It's like, well, God, are you fucking about? Like, are you joking? Like, what the hell? Why would you bring this person? I asked for a steak and he brought me a salad. Like, am I supposed to be grateful and eat the salad? No. So we know that when we ask, it shall come. Why would we question what's arrived? We've asked, it's been given. There's term of when you order on Amazon, you don't keep pestering Amazon like, hey, you're going to deliver it. You know it's coming. And then before you know it, your door knocks. I'm like, what the fuck have I ordered again? Mum, have I ordered? Don't even fucking remember. Oh yeah, a nose spray, fucking like to clear my nose out, like some water squirt, like because I needed that. But the point is that if you get the feeling and it feels right, go with it. If we're all energy and the voice in our head is essentially sound patterns we've absorbed from our environment, then source comes from the energy, which means we don't listen to the voice. We listen to the energy of the heart. That's connected. If this person's got malintentions, we will feel it. Our gut will say, something's wrong here. Something's wrong. There's going to be a fight. There's a terrorist on this train. Get off. You get this feeling of feeling sick. If you don't get this feeling of feeling sick when this person's in your house, it means you're in harmony. It means that the opposite is in effect, which is this is in alignment with you. Because if it wasn't, you get the feeling. That monkey brain is essentially going through all the pros and cons in life. There's always a million pros and a million cons. So you're never going to be able to weigh it up because there's just as many pros and cons. It's the negative energy, the positive energy, the yin, the yang, the night, the day, the on and the off. Negative, positive. It's just, there's millions. So you kind of just shut the book up. You literally just go, shut the fuck up. Yeah, throw the book in the ocean. Yeah. And then you throw the book in the ocean and you go with, does it feel right now? The answer is yes. Here's the keys. If it isn't, then you'll be told. And until something disastrous happens where you trusted your gut and you're convinced, no, this is fine, and then he does mug you, then there's an issue with someone's gut. And until that time comes, like you and me, I don't think we've had that situation where it's felt right and then they fucking done the opposite and mugged us, which means we are right until we are proved wrong. Benefit of the doubt. I'm going to trust my gut because it's never let me down. And until it does, I'm not questioning this. If I get the idea to put £1,000 in a meme coin, I know that it could get rubbed, but I've had the download. Until I lose it all, or when the bull market's over and the coin's actually dead, there is still hope. There's still hope. Just like the seed in the garden from last year. I thought 4 years later, there's no way it's going to sprout. And fuck me, it sprouts 4 years later. So it's like, well, if I put that into my life, people ruled me off 4 years ago of big entrepreneur, £1 million man, working in a chicken shop. He was always a dreamer. I'm like, no, I'm only here to pass the time by because I need a fucking purpose. Because I can't just get up and do nothing. I need a purpose. And then somehow I'll hear somebody talking about something and get an idea. And so that's why I got a job in a chicken shop. Ultimately, it lasts for 4 years or 3 years. Didn't plan to do more than a day. But I rolled over and that was my purpose. And it got me to here. Gut is always right. Never, ever question it until it's categorically proven wrong. And then you question it. Until then, most of the time, if not all the time, it's never wrong. Because if it is wrong, then God is not God. Because God's always in control. And he always does the right thing, especially to those who are good people who do the right thing.
Yeah, I have only had the opposite experience of doing something and then feeling this is not right. Like something is not right here, but doing it anyway because of fear and doubt and guilt. Like, I don't want to look bad. I don't want this person to get upset with me kind of mind frame when they're actually ripping me off or stealing from me. Right. And I don't want them, I don't want to get them upset. Right. So it's a fucked up headspace, but we all go through that. Right. We all go through the same thing. Like you were just sharing about, working in a chicken shop. Like, people don't look at me, and I would actually like anybody listening to consider, like, look at today's, like, the modern day moguls, right? Your Warren Buffett, your Elon Musk, your Bill Gates, your Steve Jobs, like people like that. They weren't just born fucking geniuses that are rich, right? They all worked in their version of a chicken shop. I worked at a deli. I've worked at a toy store. I started a career as a mechanic, hurt my back, like not even 2 years in, physically couldn't do it anymore. And I invested years, like all my high school years, training, certifications, and suddenly taken away from me. Why? So that I could get onto a different track in technology. Why? Because I'm supposed to do that for the rest of my life? No, I did it for 21 years. And I was really great at it, but it ran its course. It was like, you know, what got me here won't get me there, right? So it's like I never lost sight of the thing that I want, the thing that I want, the thing that I want, but I let my mind interrupt that. I did not need to spend 21 years in technology. I didn't. I could have very easily gotten off that train and onto this one a lot sooner, but I let my own mind and those around me influence me and convince me that no, this is the smart play, the safe play. You know, the end will be, it will be a good ending. No. It'll be I'll be the dog on the rusty nail. Like it'll be just comfortable enough or not uncomfortable enough for me to make a change because it's just slightly too comfortable. So it was like, nah, I've had enough chewing the leather here. I know what I want. And the big shift for me was not being bashful, not being afraid of what anybody thought about what I wanted from my life. I don't care that what you think I should do, what you think the best life is, fuck off. You're not me. My path is my own. And as soon as I lost that, like, I don't fucking care what anybody thinks, then things started happening for me. And it's challenging. It's difficult. Like you will change your environment, your circle of friends. And that's very difficult, even for me, but for everybody. Like you make a human connection with somebody and you grow and they don't. High odds are you're going to have to disconnect from that person. So I don't hate you or anything. I don't wish anything bad, but it's like, I'm trying to elevate. And quite frankly, you're fucking dragging me down. You got to go.
Absolutely beautiful. Right, let's end that there. Anything you want to promote or plug?
As usual, not really, but I will share this. I have, as I mentioned, I was given a dark gift over the past 14 months, and it granted me time to essentially be hands off and to prove what I am involved in works. And right now, all I'll say is I help high income earners generate 5 to 10% a month off their money in an automated fashion where they retain 100% control of all their funds. I have been involved in a lot of things where you give your money to other people who promise huge gains and ultimately don't get it or run away with your money. And I looked for a long time for a solution where I maintain control of my money and I'm the one in control of what it does and how it trades. And I have now 14 months of information that I'm happy to share with anybody. It's out there on a website called myfxbook.com. You can actually look at my account and see the growth. I started with about $43,000, and now I have just over $100,000 in about a 14 month time frame. And that's what I mean by if I can manage life and stay hands off, you do the math, right? the end goal of becoming a millionaire is a foregone conclusion at that point. So now it's all about managing my life. But I guess, yeah, I mean, if there are folks out there that are interested in something like that, then I would say please feel free to reach out to me. I'm just a resource. I'm happy to help people. I'm not looking to gain anything. I don't charge anything for it. It is genuinely my way of giving back for the blessing that I finally received after years and years and years of trying to find something like this.
And if you had one day left to live, what's the one thing that you would tell the rest of the world?
If I had one day left to live, the one thing I would tell the rest of the world. Wow. Because I have to answer now, I feel like it's not going to be correct because I haven't had any time to think about it. But the thing I think that means the most to me, I'm trying to figure out a way to articulate this into words. But it would be something along the lines of the best thing you can do for yourself and those around you is learn how to tune into the energy, because whether you like it or not, you are made of energy. and energy can neither be created nor destroyed. You, whether you like it or not, you have a legacy to leave. Whether you like it or not, you live in a world of money. So suck it up, buttercup. Find a way to tune in. Become congruent with the thing that your heart truly desires. Don't be bashful for it. Put your order out there in the universe and let your gut tell you what direction to go in.
Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, please remember to subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, like the episode, and comment below. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's YesKingOliver. Take a look at the other videos to your side. And if you just want to listen to this podcast, you can do so on Apple and Spotify and most other platforms by going to talkwitholiver.com.